All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Hopefully munching on some popcorn. You got yourself a fountain drink because Forgo Jester and Gillyweed are going to be bringing you game 2 of this winner's semis. A very explosive end to game number 1. My goodness.
Yes, the exploding part was the core.
Exactly right. Yep.
When
it went kaboom.
Yep. It did. The golem was stomping on it. Catapults were throwing stuff at it. Even Vala's grenades were not enough to stop the onslaught of damage. It was close, but no cigar.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we were given a draft link here, but I'm not entirely too sure it's actually still valid because nobody's picked anything and the bonus time is just winding down. So we probably have a few minutes here to talk about our next map, which is going to be Garden of Terror. And as clear as I say, that looks like the pick went through. But either way, Gilly, please tell us, what are we going to be seeing here on Garden of Terror?
Well, on Garden of Terror, basically the teams will be just landing as normal during the day phase. But once the map goes to night phase, then new little mercs will come out. And once you kill them, they give you seats. As you kill them, once you get 100 seats, then your team will spawn a Garden Terror, which you then have a minute to channel and pick up. And then you get to, sort of like the Dragon Knight we saw, you get new abilities and you just deal a ton of damage as the Garden Terror.
Absolutely, yeah. So Garden of Terror will be the first time that we see it tonight, but if you guys were confused about that, just think of it like Dragonshire a little bit. You get in a thing, you do the damage, and you reset. So hopefully we'll be able to keep you in the loop with this, as let's jump into the draft, Miss, because they are starting to actually get some of these picks going at a pretty decent pace.
Sure. Well, we'll start with Shot in the Bullets, who got first pick, first ban, and they chose to ban Tassadar. And Heartbreakers have chosen to ban ETC. So much different than what we got last time, which was Sergeant Hammer and Stitches, I believe. Maybe a little counter bans going on versus these two.
Well, you say Stitches and Sergeant Hammer, bam, first pick, Stitches for Shot in the Bullets. Is Heartbreakers, are they actually going to be confident enough to pick up a Hammer composition? Because I'd be very, definitely supportive of that as a big Sergeant Hammer fan myself. Some of my longest games have actually been on Garden of Terror because just the way that you can use that. But it looks like that will just be a dream, Miss, because it's going to be a Valo Rhaegar first round.
It will. So they're choosing to pick up that Rhaegar. They had it last time. I believe they had it. And did they have Rhaegar or did Shot? No, Shot, because he had Illidan. So they liked the Rhaegar pick, gonna stick with it. They've got Vala this time. Maybe we'll see a Sergeant Hammer come down for Shot in the Bullets. You know, a big fear for Sergeant Hammer can be that Stitches. So if you've got Stitches plus Sergeant Hammer, that wouldn't be too bad.
Absolutely, yeah. If they are going to opt for that comps, I'd expect to see an Uther to kind of follow that up. If, however, Shot in the Bullets want to stick with their Illidan, then actually it's going to be pretty much the same idea. If they do go for the Illidan, they're likely to pick up the Uther right away. But it does actually look like Shot in the Bullets do want to return back to a Sergeant Hammer play. So if this isn't an Uther, I suspect it'll be a Malfurion. If it's neither, then I don't know. I mean, you're supposed to really try to secure yourself that disengage, that AoE stun. Where's the hammer? And Uther just kind of provides a lot to that scenario.
Yeah, for sure. Both teams really making sure that they get their picks right, dipping into time pools when needed to make sure that they've figured out everything that could possibly go wrong or right with their comps. But we're going to get a Nazebo. So Nazebo and Sergeant Hammer together once again.
The double siege. We're likely to see double support after this. And I guess that they're banking on the fact that Heartbreakers won't go triple support. But they do go to Vala. They go triple support and a Mirrodin, a Sonya, another Diablo, and just rely on the Vala. That might be throwing a wrench here into Shot in the Bullets' plans, but we'll have to see if they're actually confident enough without that. I don't expect to see a triple support come in the way of Heartbreakers because I just don't think that they're kind of up on that. I mean, I never really assume everybody watches, as much as I do. So perhaps they don't know about some of the more recent European strats. But if they do, I'd be super impressed. Otherwise, they're likely to just secure another support in a tank this round.
What support do you see them maybe picking up? Tassadar or a more healing-focused one?
Tassadar's banned, so it's not going to be him.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry. Maybe a Tyrande? The stun can be very useful when it comes to Nazeebo.
And Sarge.
What do you think?
Yeah. If they do go with a Tyrande, I'm just kind of thinking here. That's a nice frontliner with a Tyrande. They got that, pseudo healing coming out of them. That would be double healing ward from the comp. It actually go really nicely because she also has Hunter's Mark. Hunter's Mark is definitely a good focus for bursting down, brings extra damage to the table. I think that would actually be a fantastic victory.
Yeah, I love Tyrande with Vala too, because that, like you said, that Hunter's Mark together with the damage that Vala puts out, and they're both ranged, so they're relatively easy to protect as long as they've got good positioning. I love it. But first, we're going to see a Muradin. So they've chosen their tank, and they're going for the dwarf. What do you think?
Good stuns, can jump into the back line. It's really hard to insta-give, for sure. And so that's definitely going to be a bigger target there for the Ancestral Healing. Sorry. Going into the bonus pool, though, they're still thinking about what that second pick is. If they don't pick up an Uther, Shot in the Bullets is almost guaranteed to grab it. So I would really go for that because, the more stuns, the more lockup, the better you're going to be. So the Heartbreakers are actually going to take the Malfurion instead. So they're going to rely on the roots over the stuns.
That's interesting because right now to deal with Nazeebo and his Ravenous Spirit, what have we got to deal with it so far? We've got some stuns from Muradin, but that does require Muradin, right, to jump clear in too. So he'll have to go clear into the fight. I guess maybe that's what they'll be banking on, or possibly
could go Rain as
Rain
well.
of Vengeance.
Right. Mm-hmm. Good call. If she's close enough. If she's not, you're not going to see it. But I am really surprised. I am super surprised.
Yes.
Brightwing and Jaina. Now, the Brightwing is okay because it is an accepted healer. It's definitely an accepted support. I want to say it's going to be an Emerald win for the Protect the Hammer, but we've been seeing a heck of a lot of Blink heal these days. But the Jaina, that is, Shot is very confident in their Protect abilities because, there was even a Reddit thread today, Miss Gill, and
what was that?
It was all about why don't we see Jaina in competitive? And the bottom line is that she's a very inflexible glass cannon. She gets easily jumped, she gets easily bursted, and she doesn't have that many tools early game to deal with that. So you can see Heartbreakers here. Their last pickup is actually going to be another DPS, and it will be Tychus. I think I clicked Raynor, though. It's totally a Tychus. Sorry about that.
Another Space Marine.
Yeah, another Space Marine, the other one, yeah. And, I mean, unless you're going to get off those roots from Jaina, a Tychus can just overkill and just destroy her. Like, Vala can almost easily 1v1. Rhaegar can chase her down. The Muradin can just jump in. Like, I'm a little scared for Shot in the Bullets. Heartbreakers put up a fantastic game number 1 all the way up until the end where they started slipping, but Shot in the Bullets do not have an early comp, I want to say.
Yeah, Vala often is chosen so much more because she has that strafe, or not strafe, vault, where she's able to quickly cartwheel? Yeah, cartwheel away if she gets into danger. But Jaina doesn't really have anything like that. All of her abilities are damaged, and you really just have to rely on the fact that you freeze players from the enemy team, which slows them down. But other than that, it's pretty tough. You can get sprint later on, but like you said, early on, it's very difficult for her to be able to disengage should she get in trouble.
So Heartbreakers going a little bit more old school with the Tychus Vala. That's definitely a very old kind of style back end or back line, I should say. Because it's a lot of range damage, right? We're likely to see the Odin. I want to say we're going to see Strafe, but you know what? Yeah, we're probably going to see a Strafe. Unless that's going to be an Emerald Wind, it's almost for sure Strafe at this point because the rain is just never going to be in range for the Nazebo, so that's not really an issue. But the Malfurion coming in there with the Rhaegar, it's a heck of a lot of healing on top of it. So shot in the bullets, if they can't burst anybody down, they're not going to win a sustained fight with only that Brightwing. So I'm a little concerned for them this round.
Yeah, it's really interesting to me. Maybe they're going to see like a Jaina Sergeant Hammer where Jaina can kind of like slow and keep people from getting away from Sergeant Hammer. And plus, later on, you can take a talent that makes them take more damage when you use your Cone of Cold on them. So maybe they're aiming for that. The Nazebo and Sergeant Hammer dealing a lot of damage with that extra damage on top. Who knows? I guess we'll see. Is that a grill in chat?
I don't know which one they're referring to. Either way, shot in the bullets. If they drop this game, they're going to be down into the bracket of alternate success because that is where you go when you lose from the winners. No losers here, guys. It's just alternate success.
I like it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we are just waiting for a bathroom break here from somebody, so we will be getting this game going momentarily. And once again, reminder, that is not Raynor. That is Tychus, and I'm not redoing the draft for that one pick. I should probably change my tech up a little bit so I can fix mistakes without destroying everything. But here we go. We're going to be jumping on in to Garden of Terror, the first garden that we've seen tonight. Things that we have not really seen a lot of typically include Haunted Mines and Black Arts Bay, a heck of a lot of Cursed Hollow and Dragonshire, but Garden of Terror I think comes in number 2, number 3 for most people's preference.
Yeah, it's pretty even. There's not too much of snowballing, as people would call it. As far as once you get ahead, it's just really, really, really hard for the other team to have any ability to like come back. Which, this game always has great comeback ability, but there are definitely some maps that sort of favor that way more than others. I just had a thought before we introduce these teams, but what if we had a Bloodlust?
10 seconds.
Would that just be crazy?
Well, I mean, there's a little bit of chatter talking about the Twilight Dream out of Malfurion as opposed to the Tranquility, but if they go Tranquility and Bloodlust, they do have a very powerful back line on that.
Mm-hmm.
And you have surprised me with your predictions so far. So I don't you must have the reverse casting curse. It's like the casting blessing. Stuff you predict actually happens.
What can I say? All right, well, introducing these teams, we've got Heartbreakers back on blue with Jumping Duck, Bro Montana, Jaslyn, Kill the Hype, and Silent.
Now I'm gone.
Silent.
He can correct me if he wants, but I suspect he won't say a word. And then on the flip side, some players that I've definitely played with, and guys here looking to keep their tournament life going. Shot, aka Face, the Barcode, Visceral, and the Base Drop up top. Base Drop actually getting a really nice trade-off there with Mirrodin, but that's the fun thing about Mirrodin. He has his passive regeneration, which kicks in and makes him an absolutely laning monster.
That is for sure, and just like before, we again have the party lane on bot with the Sergeant Hammer and those who are opposing the Sergeant Hammer. Silent getting very low inside that zombie roll, and one final shot from Sergeant Hammer deals the crushing blow, and Malfurion already first blood.
Yeah, unfortunately, Malfurions don't really come with any kind of built-in escape mechanism, so one well-played zombie wall could definitely lead into some early game deaths. And we saw that very well executed from Shot in the Bullets, so congratulations to their first blood. Let's see if they can actually snowball that or not. But either way, seeds are up. they do spawn out, and Visceral is actually going to be taking a good amount of damage from this 5-man top lane Heartbreakers. They didn't even finish their bottom seeds. They just kind of took a whole bunch and ran all the way top. That's not something that we see a lot of in some of these other competitive games.
That's true, and you know, with none of them in lane, they are picking up this top terror for seeds, but they are missing out on some critical lane experience gain, which with the earlier kill on Malfurion is just kind of catapulting Shot into a further and further lead with the experience.
Yeah, half a level already. It's looking good, better and better here for Shots. They do actually get their bottom seeds in very quick order, so both teams have actually pocketed as much as they can. Now, there are 180 seeds that spawn at a time, and it's a very close split, 88-92. So we're almost guaranteed 2 Shamblers next night cycle, which would be about 2 minutes from now.
So, are there any crazy things happening in the world of talents so far?
Shredder Grenade for Tychus. Typically we'd see Overkill coming out there, but okay, we're gonna go with the Explosion Radius, and then the Melting Point is definitely a bit more of an NA favorite. But yeah, the Shredder Grenade, not something you see a lot of. The Vala looks like she's going a bit more single target. We take a quick look here in this bottom lane. And Excessive Force from Barcode. Okay.
Really
not
keeping the people off.
Yeah, it's all right. This will be something new for me. I've never ever seen this talent in action. But Excessive Force apparently doubles the knockback distance. We'll have to see exactly how much that actually ends up being. So that'll be something else. Apparently, it's a heck of a lot. My goodness.
Yeah. You want to attack my friends? Too bad. So the Nazebo and Sergeant Hammer on bot, of course, doing a ton of siege damage, as you foresaw. Already they've taken out one of the towers and are about to take out the other one as well. Shot is continuing to keep that good experience lead too, which might get them to that crucial level 10 just a little bit sooner.
Yeah, level 10 is, well, pretty much on the way here for the next seeds. I mean, we're about to hit 9, and with a good kill or some nice rotations, we could actually hit those heroics by the next cycle. So we're going to be looking for the nighttime coming up. We do our little 7 talents on both sides, and wow, actually I didn't even see this. We have the Bribe on the Brightwing. You can see right here the Bribe already coming into play. They're really looking to push down this bottom. They got some Stone Bros now coming out. Both of our Siegers are still down here. And, you know, as you said, already the gate is gone. That's extra tower experience now in the pockets of the Shot. And 9.5 still looking for those heroics. I don't know if they're going to push for a fight with their talent lead, but they're definitely looking good here early game.
Yep, there it is. The level 10 has been achieved by Shot and the Bullets, and we're going to have Ravenous, and as you said, the Blink heal is there. But one thing to note is that Stitches doesn't have Gorge this time. He picked Putrid Bile.
And they're just looking to zone control. They're literally looking to roll out the red carpet. It'll be green this time, but because of the bile.
Evil.
And evil, yeah, and bubbly. Things in it. Things you should never ever see. Wow, nice hook. There goes Bro Montana. He is getting denied that safety behind his gate. But either way, yeah, it's going back to the bio. It's a lot of zone control. They're going to be able to just spam it out and keep Nazebo and keep the Sergeant Hammer in the back. And it should make it really hard for the Heartbreakers to jump into it. But they do got their 10 now. It's a little too late to help out with the Vala. But the Vala is actually going to go Rain of Vengeance after all that. And it's not a Bloodlust. It will be Ancestral and the Tranquility. They're looking to just to never die.
They see the Putrid Bile and raise a whole heck of a lot of healing. So down on bot, just continuing to take seeds. Everyone wants to try to get the seeds before they go back and pick up their terrors. Just, you know, to try to make sure that while you're getting your terror, the other team doesn't snipe all the seeds and either get another one in the same round which you can't have 2 at a time, but you would get 1 immediately following. And it looks like Shot almost did that with 97 seeds on top of the Terra that they already have. So close, but they'll have to wait until the next round.
Yeah, they definitely came out much farther ahead with the seeds that round. But as I said, we're looking at double Shamblers, and these Shamblers, just like the Dragon Knights, they give you, I think Anna coined this one for me, but they put on the suit. Wow, look at that knockback distance. That is much more than double. That is much more than double, I'm sorry. But you put on the suit, it gives you a new health bar, it gives you new abilities, and abilities like the Flower Pot, the Zombie Curse, and Sprint, believe it or not. This big guy can actually move pretty fast. Red, for sure, using theirs much, much better. They've been pushing down the top. They got some Flower Pots off, whereas, look at this, Blue, Kill the Hype, is literally on defense with his. It's very much an offensive tool. If you're stuck on defense, just like what we saw earlier in the Dragonshire with the Dragon Knight always going home, you're not getting anything out of it. And whereas Base Drop here, he's just kind of leading Silent on a little bit of a merry chase, and he's still pushing into these other lanes.
I think that showed a really good thought process as far as what you're trying to do with the Terror, because we saw Heartbreakers push with their Terror, all 5 members with the Terror, but Shot split up and had the Terror go top while everyone else defended, and I think that they definitely came out on top of it.
Yeah, Shot for sure playing much better in this early game. There's much better use of their ultimates there as well, their heroics, and now they're going to get themselves a fort. Well, okay, almost just get themselves a fort. Man, that knockback distance is just mind-boggling. Absolutely. I'm going to have to go test that. I'm going to have to go test that now, like collapse comps. That just looks fantastic. Either way, jumping duck, jumping to victory, or well, at least a survivability here. He does get himself that ancestral healing. Base Drop is in the front. They do take down the Tyke because he doesn't have that double health bar anymore, which is why we typically don't see him. But the Ravenous does do its work. Jumping Duck getting really low, but it's going to be hard to take him down. And by the end of it all, it looks like only the 1 kill on top of the Tychus. But Visceral sprinting forward, very aggressive Jaina. And unfortunately, nothing really came of it.
Yeah, it does look like maybe a couple more shots they might be able to get the fort, but meanwhile, they're about to kill Silent, the polymorph, but he's able to kind of pig away. But they do pick up the Murden finally. They were trying to get that kill. Jumping Duck so strong, especially with his health regen as well. So they are able to get 2 kills, get the fort, and they all got away with their lives as well.
Visceral going to be heading up top. Looks like they're just going to clear out the wave. They still do have a fort up here. No towers whatsoever to defend it. And it is missing a good chunk of its hit points. But nighttime is up, and seeds are going to be the priority. We only need 3 here from Shot and the bullets in order to put on the suit, so to speak. Just a few more there from the Heartbreakers. But we are likely to see the double Shamblers again, especially since both teams have just kind of polarized to the different poles, and they're going to grab themselves 90 each, and perhaps even Jaslyn. Yes, for sure, Jaslyn, as she is leashed by Base Drop and put down.
Yeah, Jaslyn was trying to grab that small camp before Shot could, but they weren't able to. Shot picking up that top fort now. So that'll be really good when they get their Shambler. They won't have to worry about taking the time to stop and grab that top fort. And they're going to march right on and go ahead and just steal these sieges while they're at it. Meanwhile, it looks like Jumping Duck and Silent are trying to get some damage done on bottom, but they're going to have to go back and do some defending.
Yeah, a 5-man push with Bruisers and Stone Bros and a Hover Siege. Damn, look at that Hover Siege go. Man, yeah, that is something you definitely need to be defending. This also allows, Base Drop a lot of time to get back over here, and he's actually looking to push down mid, I suppose. I suspect, though, he should go bottom, but that's just my idea.
It looks like Heartbreakers only have 12 seconds to pick up that Terror, so they're going to have to get on that. One thing to note definitely, too, is the experience difference. Once again, Shot has really solidified that. They've got that crucial level 16 talent pretty much 2 levels ahead of Heartbreakers. So that's going to be really important. Those level 16 talents, like you saw with the Hover Siege, really changed the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the 16 talents gives us Ice Barrier, nice defensive there for Jaina. We also got the Specialized Toxin, the Critterize, which is a damage vulnerability on Polymorphs, which makes it a very powerful burst tool. The Hover Siege and the Imposing Presence once more from our Stitches. We've been seeing a heck of a lot more of that now, but as I said, you know, I expected this Terror to go into the bottom lane. It did. Kill the Hype is here with his entire team, and they're on the offensive this round, but they are down that extra talent tier, so they got to be very careful with this big engage. Kill the Hype is going to get just dropped out of that Terror, and now Kill the Hype. You know, I'm looking for an Odin, but it's going to be a good Ravenous. The grenade build actually comes out big there. The grenade interrupt on top of the Ravenous, but wasn't enough to save the Mirrodin. It's not going to be enough to save Jasmine. Way too late on that Ancestral. And Kill the Hype, you know, even if he Odin's up, he's not going to get the extra hit points out of it. So hands are kind of tied. The Odin is still ready to go, but he has no opportunity here to use it.
Yeah, with 2 people down for another 20 seconds, it's going to be an easy fort here for Shot and the Bullets. And they're just going to continue on and start taking all of the Merc camps as well, while Heartbreakers can't really do much about it. So what do you do in this situation to come back? They, like you said before, I mean, getting a pick would definitely help. They definitely need to get that next talent tier at 16. That will help them out immensely. Any other tips that you would have?
If I was in the position of the Heartbreakers?
Yeah.
Well, definitely sticking together is the general #1 tip, especially this late into the game. Somebody gets caught out, like we saw Jasmine get caught out a little bit earlier, because she was soloing seeds up top. That leads you into a very weakened position, so sticking together. On this map, there's a heck of a lot of mercs that you can definitely spend some time with, get to know, and they'll help you out by pushing your lanes. Always be trying to get those on your downtime between these curses, but I mean, right now, Visceral, he's up top, he's by himself. We got 2 also here split into the top, and the 2 Sieges were in the bottom, all from the shots. So if you can find one of those opportunities for a pick, for sure, that will pay itself off very, very well.
Base Drop came in to try to steal and grab a pick on somebody, but unfortunately just picked up one of the Mercs. So they're going to be trying to get into a fight. Here comes the Ravenous Spirit. Nothing really can deal with it because Tychus has been destroyed, and Jumping Ducks is trying to get away. He jumps to safety, but Base Drop pulls him right back in, and he goes down as well. Once again, a 5 hero lead to 3 as we go into this next night phase.
And yeah, well, we got a little bit of time before the night, but 18 to 16, we're about to hit 19 as well. That means 1 level until the all-important Storm tier talents. And, you know, Protect the Hammer is working out really well. Take a quick look at hero damage. It's actually not the Hammer leading. In fact, it's not even the Hammer even close to leading. My goodness, it's all about this Nazebo. Screw Hammer. It's all about protecting the Nazebo today. 31,000 hero damage, but we do got almost 100k under the belt there of Hammer with that siege mode. Just slamming away on so many structures. So down goes the keep. We're about to go get some of those seeds, which is going to lead us into another Shambler, which will likely be trying to push down the last bastion here in the mid. And, you know, it's just looking better and better here for shots. When you're 3 levels up, well, okay, 2 and a bit levels up, it's kind of hard to drop it. But again, they're split. Look at this. You got Visceral and Shot down here. If they can't get out of this, that could be the beginning of a comeback. Fortunately, there's just nobody here to stop him. And, oh, kill the Hype. Got killed. And there goes my Hype.
I was waiting for it. Ravenous Sphere also takes out Mirrodin again. And Jaslyn is way out of position, stuck between a rock and a hard place and 2 other heroes as well, and a water elemental. So definitely going to go down. And now they are chasing down not Fury and Bella, but they're way far away. So it looks like that they've got about 35 seconds left to pick up their Garden Terror, and they've just grabbed it. And where's the push going to be?
So things to do to come back into the game is don't do that. Don't do what we just saw. They split for the chase and Kill the Hype. He didn't even get an Odin off. I don't even think he got even a grenade off. He just got womboed really, really hard. And that actually, I think, is just going to begin. I mean, we got this Hover Siege tank coming in. We got a Garden Terror coming in. We still got Brightwing up. Shot still has... No, he doesn't. He doesn't have that Ravenous. But we still got the Bio ready to go. And I don't think Heartbreakers can come back out of this one. I think it's way too late now.
Yep, I would agree. That core's going down really fast between the Siege tank, the plant, and then the potted plants they're dropping. Everyone's going to get chased away, but as long as that Garden Terror is on it, it's game. And Shot and the Bullets come back in this best-of-3 series. So we're going to have a Game 3.
Red team wins, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, Game 3, the dream. This was their tournament life on the line. And, you know, perhaps not so great at the Cursed Hollow, but they definitely had the Garden of Terror's number down. That was a very impressive play.
Yeah, for sure. They did a great job. I think they did a great job, too, zoning for that Nazebo and Sergeant Hammer. The one time I saw them able to stop the Ravenous Spirit was a Tychus grenade, which you saw him trying to go for, I think, which is why you would see them be able to catch him. And they were just so good at zoning him and keeping him away from that Nazebo.
So I'm not entirely too confident on using Tychus as your anti-Nazebo to stop that, but didn't really have too many other things there in the bucket. I mean, Muradin, in theory, should have been the guy to jump in every time with the stuns. But even with the Rain of Vengeance, like, I don't know, didn't really feel it there from the Heartbreakers. They were a little bit too more... They were definitely splitting up more. They were getting caught more, and that just leads you into a much weaker position when it comes to contesting some of these objectives.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So c'est la vie. Either way, Game 3 means that we're going into the map striking, and one of these teams, after this game, is going to be moving on to winners finals. And they're going to be one game closer to taking home those all-important seeding points into the grand finals. So, Ms. Gillyweed, I say let's take a quick break. When we come back, game number 3 of this semifinals. And we will find out who will move on. Sound good?
Sounds good. See you guys soon.